Hello, welcome. This is Teacher Cindy, and you are at Crochet Corner, and we are learning to crochet one stitch at a time. This is our second lesson of the four-part series to on your journey to making a dishcloth and learning a lot of great things along the way. So what we're going to do today is we are going to chain 20. Then we're going to chain one, because at the end of every row, you're going to chain one, and then you're going to turn your project. Then you're going to single crochet the entire first row. For the rest of the project, you're going to single crochet, chain one, single crochet in the next hole, and you're going to do this for the row and end with a single chain stitch. You're going to follow this pattern for 18 to 22 rows depending on the size. If you want to make it a little bigger to make it square or a little smaller to make it square, you just kind of judge that on your own. And then you are going to end with an all single crochet row. So watch this video. Okay, so I have a new ball of yarn, and remember, I'm going to just pull. Okay, if you pull on it like that, don't pull on it too hard to try and get the end out. Just go to the other side. See if I can get the end out of the middle. Okay, I feel a little ball. Okay, so this is one end and this is the other end. And I'm going to start with the end which is inside the middle, because that is the best way to do it, because it doesn't come, it doesn't tangle. Okay, so here's my ball, and remember, when you're untangling, loose, loose, loose. Do not ever pull it really tight, because you'll get a knot in it and you won't be able to get it out. So that's a good thing to remember for untangling or detangling yarn. Okay, sometimes you have to take the tangles out and maybe make a new ball, and just think loosen, 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 loosen. Do not pull really tight. Okay, so I'm going to make my slip knot, and I'm going to pull it through, put it on the needle, whoops, and my pattern says to crochet 20 stitches. Remember, I don't want them too tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, and then one more, because it's at the end of the row. At the end of every row, you're going to chain one, and then you're going to turn your project. So I'm going to single crochet into each chain. Okay, so we're going to be holding it the same way. Put it over my index finger, over my ring finger, and I'm going to kind of pinch my chain. Okay, then I'm going to grab, no, I'm not going to grab. For single crochet, you're going to go into, I'm going to kind of skip one loop and go into the next loop. Put your crochet hook into the loop. Okay, skip one loop and go into the next loop in the middle. Go in the middle, okay? You're going to grab it like you did for the chain, pull it through. Now you have 2 loops on the hook. Now you're going to grab it again, and you're going to pull it through both loops. And you're going to do this into every stitch. So that's 1, in, grab, you have 2, and then you're going to grab another and pull it through both. Okay, next, in, grab, and then over and pull it through both. So you can tell it's kind of like a double chain kind of thing. Okay, so you go in the loop, grab, pull it through, and then through 2. So there is a double crochet, this is a single crochet. Single crochet is what we're doing right now. There's a double crochet, a triple crochet. There's also a slip stitch. which we didn't really use on this. Slip stitch would be used when we make a granny square, which is a fun thing. This blanket behind me was made as a very big granny square with a heart in the middle. So that is really fun to do. That's the first time that I've ever made a blanket like that. Okay, so I am going into every stitch and I'm doing a single crochet. Now this will probably take you longer than it's taking me, but you can go back to the beginning of this video and review again to see how to do it, and just review it and try it as many times as it takes. Sometimes at the very end it's a little tricky. The good thing to do is to count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, perfect. So this is how it looks. This would be the bottom of your dishcloth, and we did a whole single crochet row. And then we're going to chain one, just like you did before. And now we are going to turn the project. We are going to single crochet into the next row. Now I am going to go into the hole right below the chain. Okay, I'm going to go in the hole, grab one, do my single crochet just like I did in the last row. Chain one. Now I'm going to skip a chain and go to the next chain. Single crochet, chain one, skip a loop, single crochet, chain one, skip, single crochet, chain one, skip, single crochet, chain one. Okay, so you can see that this one has little holes where you did the chain one. Okay, so that gives it a little bit of a design. Now you could just do single crochet every single row if you want, but this gives it a little bit of a design to it. And I don't know, I think it might go a little faster because you're kind of skipping a row. Now the yarn that I use is the 100% cotton sugar and cream, and you can usually get about 2 dishcloths from one ball. That's usually what happens with me. Okay, so now I'm at the end and I'm going to chain one. Okay, and I'm going to go back, single crochet, chain one, skip a loop, single crochet, chain one, skip a loop. So I'm actually now I'm single crocheting into the hole that I had left on the last row. So it's easier on this third row to determine where your hook goes. Okay, so since you're just beginning, do not feel bad if yours doesn't look just like mine. If you have mistakes, keep going. It's just a dishcloth, right? Or if you're a perfectionist, go ahead and take it out and start over. Do not feel bad. I have made a lot of projects that I had to just start over. I can think about one sweater that I was making one time, and I had to take it out several times because I'm like, I'm never going to wear this if it has mistakes in it. So I had to take it out. And I also wanted to show perseverance. Like, I can do this, you know. I start over and just try again. And it's okay. So I now have, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm on my 4th row. So what I'd like you to do for the next class is get to at least half this dishcloth done, okay? Get half of this dishcloth done. That will be the 3rd class. And by the 4th class, I hope that you have the whole thing done. And on the 4th class, we will show you how to finalize a project. Thank you for taking this class, and I'm really excited about your progress with your beginning crochet, one stitch at a time. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do. Okay, while you are practicing and crocheting, listen as I give you some more basic tips to keep in mind. This is the same slide from the last lesson. We are going to remember that practice makes progress. So if you're going along in your project and you realize, oh no, I've made way too many mistakes, I don't want to keep going. So you can take it all out and start over. Just start your project over, and you can either do that or just keep going. Even when you're starting off, you're a new beginner and you have a few mistakes in it, that's okay. So sometimes for something like this, just persevere until you get done with it. So you decide what you want to do. But whatever you do, when you practice, remember you are perfecting your stitch. Remember to keep those stitches loose and watch your gauge. The goal for the beginner is to practice for uniform stitches. Yes, we want to make a dishcloth, but we're also practicing so that we can make other things in the future, maybe like a blanket or something a little more complicated. We have to start somewhere. Just imagine if you were learning how to play the piano and you were given a song and you don't usually play it perfectly the first time. You have to go over it and over it, and it takes a lot of practice before you can perfect that song. So crocheting is similar. You're going to practice before it might look as perfect as you want it to look. I don't know. Sometimes people pick it up real quick and they don't have to worry about making mistakes very often. But for the most part, most people take a little bit of time to perfect their stitch. So keep that in mind. Don't expect that it's going to be perfect the first time you make a dishcloth. Let's have a little reminder. Do you remember where yarn comes from? We can get yarn from sheep. When my kids were little, we had a sheep farm right up the street, and they walked up the street and they got yarn that the woman there made from her own sheep's wool, like the living sheep. It was really awesome. We made mittens from that wool, and those are the best mittens because they are great. They get a little bit wet and they're still warm. They're wonderful mittens. You can also get yarn from alpacas. That is a really special yarn as well. You can get yarn from rabbits, very soft yarn. And you can get yarn from a machine, and that is called acrylic. And most of the yarn that we see, like at Walmart or in the stores, that's going to be the acrylic. And that's going to be the cheapest. So that's a good place to start when you're first learning how to knit. As you get to be better and better, if you become a professional, then you might want to reach out to some of those more expensive and amazing yarns. So, we also want to talk today about crochet abbreviations. If you want to get a pattern from a pattern book or maybe even online, you need to know some certain abbreviations in order to read the patterns. And I have a little chart here with many of them. So, you might want to kind of review the chart or maybe even have a copy of this chart in your yarn bag or whatever, so that you can check your pattern to see if there are if you have any abbreviations you don't know what they mean. So most of them are pretty easy to remember, like SK for skip, LP for loop, CH for chain, SC for single crochet, with some other ones that we use right now, REP for repeat, and maybe chain. Chain is CH. Beginning, BEG. Contrasting color, that would be if you're going to have two different colors in your project. So you can review this list on your own if you would like to, or print it out so that you can review it on your own. And I just want to show you the directions for this dishcloth redone by using some of the abbreviations on this chart. Here you go. Chain 20, chain 1. Let's learn single crochet. Single crochet, the first row, I would leave that out. That's just for your benefit. SC row 1, and then chain 1, turn, SC or single crochet 1 in the first stitch, chain 1, single crochet. I could put SKP instead of skipping a chain in the next hold to do this to the end. Chain 1 at the end of the row, turn. And notice I have those asterisks, and that means you go back and you do what's between the asterisks. Here I have 22 times. So you could do 18 to 22 times depending on the size of your project. And you're going to end with a single crochet row. Then you're going to bind off and hide the ends. And I will show you that in another video when we get to the end of our project. So here we go. Name these crochet terms. SC, C, ST, chain 1, ST, SP, REP. You might have gotten those without too much studying, but if there are any there that you don't remember, go back to the crochet stitch abbreviation list and see if you can find them on there. All right, remember, practice makes progress. So I'm expecting that you're going to be working on this project, and do not be afraid if you have to take it out and redo it. Okay, don't be afraid of that, and you take your time. If you feel like you're getting frustrated with it, put it away, take it out some other time. Don't do it when you're tired or frustrated, and don't, get upset about anything. This is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be relaxing, and it doesn't hurt to just put it away and pull it back out. And the nice thing about it is you can go back and review this video and start fresh again. And the more times you take it out and start over and try again, you are perfecting your ability. And you will only have to do this once. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. Once you learn, you've got it. You're on your way. So once you get yourself into a groove of how you're doing, how you're holding the yarn and your stitches are a good size, then you will be on your way to finishing this dishcloth and moving on to a new project. I'm so excited for you. Great job. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Great work. Thanks for coming to this class. I can't wait to see you next time. Happy crocheting.